Hello, I just wanted to thank those who are asking me, like Alward Sousan and others, who have been asking me to do other videos about stylistics or semiotics and translation, which I will do. It's just only because I'm now involved in the translation from Arabic into English, which is quite challenging, and I wanted really to give you a good guide based on my own book, which I have published in 2013, in which I have mentioned quite a lot of chapters about Arabic syntax and how to translate it into English, which is quite challenging. I have covered a little, some of them in the last few videos. For example, one of them is about demonstrative pronouns, another one is relative pronouns, interrogatives, and I will be covering today conditionals. And we'll see how conditionals are actually being translated, or I'll give you some examples and we'll have a look at them. Of course, before that, if you remember, I talked about also how to translate ma, and ma with an exclamation, ma if it doesn't have any function, and ma which means thing or what, and so on. There's so many ma's, if you like, that I have actually showed you all these examples. You can look at that video, which is not the topic of today's video. Now, today's video, we will go through some conditionals. I'll give you some examples, and also these examples, I've translated them into English so that you will see how these will be translated in a sort of, like it's an attempt. And of course, there are many ways of translating certain sentences. Let's have a look at some of these examples that I have for you. 1 second here. I'm just going to turn it over to show you how it is. This is it. Now, of course, as you can see, we have covered some of these. So I'm just going to go for now, find conditional, and then just go for conditional again, and there it is, asma shart. Conditionals and their equivalence. Of course, their equivalence, that means it is their equivalence according to what? According to the English language, of course, because I'm talking about the TL, and the TL in this case, or the target language in this case, is English, and the source text is Arabic. So that is one of those things that you need to look at. For example, here we have this example, which says about how to demonstrate the point about the equivalence having the same function. In زيد جاء فأكرمه. In جاء زيد, or in زيد جاء فأكرمه. If. So in here it means if. So if Zaid comes, treat him in a hospitable way or manner, for example, or be generous in your hospitality. Of course, the word hospitable, meaning being very kind and very, when you are hospitable, that means you are being kind and generous and to the guests and that. Of course, we have to differentiate in English, of course, as you know, hospitable, that is hospitalized. Hospitalized is something else, which means when somebody is hospitalized, it means that he's just received an injury and went to hospital. And that is a different word from hospitable. Hospitable being very, like what is hospitality, or hospitality rather, hospitality الضيافة, okay? And that includes the restaurants and hotels and stuff like that. Mainly hotels, really. So hospitable is the issue here, which is quite interesting to use. You can use any other, of course, the best dictionaries to use is Hansver, and there is Hansver, and there is also A-Lane, which is another good dictionaries in Arabic, from Arabic into English. So that's the first one. Imma, this is the other one. Imma tara Zaydan فأكرمه. إما ترى زيدا فأكرمه. So this is another as you can see, إما ترى زيدا فأكرمه. Let's have a look at the English of that one and some of the others, of course. And here, let me just, so that you can see another way of saying. So إما ترى زيدا فأكرمه. When you see Zaid, treat him in a hospitable manner. It's another way of trying to express the same kind of. So here it's when. Before that, when treat him. So it's a kind of not necessarily here conditional in the target text, but it is conditional in the source text, of course. إما ترى زيدا فأكرمه. When you see Zaid, try to, or if you see Zaid, because إما, it has got that kind of idea of conditional in Arabic. And then we have the next one, أي رجل يعمل خيرا يجد جزاءه. أي رجل يعمل خيرا يجد جزاءه. Any man. أي رجل يعمل يجد جزاءه. So this is a kind conditional, okay? But of course you can say any man who does good deeds would or gets rewarded or gets his reward. You can use either, but you can see here the conditional in Arabic is not necessarily translated into a conditional in English because it's not the same thing. For example, you can say any person who works hard or the one who works hard will get rewarded. This is another way of translating it. Of course, this translation is not really set in stone. You can see that I am now already giving you another version of what I have written in the book. So there is another one, من يذاكر ينجح. Again, it's conditional in Arabic. Look at this. Whoever revises his studies or his study well, or whoever studies well, you can say, will succeed. Whoever studies well succeeds. You can say that as well. Whoever studies well for the exam, for example, if you like, between brackets, and then you say will succeed. So here it is, he will succeed. Now, it is really not as conditional as it is in the English. This is one of the things about it. But you can see men, whoever, أي رجل يعمل, any man as well. But these are conditional in Arabic, but not so in the target text. More of these, which can actually من تصادق أصادقه. من تصادق أصادقه. So this is another conditional. Whoever you make friends with will be my friend. Whoever you make friends with will be my friend. This is a really very, in a way, it's not as clear in English the way it is in Arabic. من تصادق أصادقه. It's a conditional, but it's not very easily detected to know that it is conditional in Arabic. But you can see in English it doesn't have if, for example, as a kind of indicating the conditional. مهما تعمل يعلمه الله. مهما تعمل يعلمه الله. So whatever you do, God know whoever, whatever you do. Of course, he is subjunctive, I think it's called, where it is, you say God know, not knows. This is a kind of respect, I think, or it's, I'm not 100% sure, but this is because of the religious element in this. That's why it has been given this way. So whatever you do, this is God will know. I mean, if it's a conditional, whatever you do, God will know. But of course, God know whatever you do. Okay, I mean that is really the conditional that is translated to English in this way. متى تأتي أكرمك. Again, it's the same thing. Whenever you come, I will treat you in a hospitable manner. I will I will I will be so kind to you. I'll be so generous in my hospitality, if you like, as well. So it's all of these can actually work really well here. There's one thing which I wanted to say, which is I already mentioned it in my book about the word kullama, and how many times I come across this, by the way, and that's why I've actually made it as a point for kullama. Many students and many translators I find, they tend to say kullama amaltu kada, kullama amaltu kada. They repeat the word kullama in Arabic, and that is completely wrong. You can never ever repeat it in Arabic. As in the religious verse, كلما دخل عليها المحراب وجد عندها. يعني there is no كلما the way it is in English. So here, of course, you have to be careful, because in Arabic, and many translators who translate from English into Arabic, they say كلما in the same sentence. That is not correct. So here, كان كلما أكثر كان أجود كلاما. كلما أكثر كان أجود كلاما. Obviously here كلما كان أكثر كلاما كان أجود. يعني you can say that as well. كلما أكثر كلاما كان أجود. يعني أكثر بالماضي. I don't think you need even كان. كلما أكثر كلاما كان أجود. So here in English, of course, that means the more you speak, or the more he spoke, the better he got. The more he spoke, the better he got, or the more conversant has become, more eloquent he has become. So you can say that as well. You see, I mean, in translation, you can actually. So the more he speaks, the more eloquent he is. Example, or that's what you can say about kullama. So that is a very, very important element in this one here. We go back, we leave the kullama, نرجع على conditional. أيان تأتي أكرمك. Again, whenever you come in the future, I will treat you in a hospitable manner, or I will be very hospitable whenever you come. So that's another thing. Whenever you come, I will treat you in a hospitable manner, or I will be I will receive you with open arms, or I will be very kind to you and generous. أين يذهب يحترمه الناس. أين يذهب يحترمه الناس. Here, أين is not a question here. It is conditional. Wherever he goes, people respect him or show respect towards him. Wherever he goes, people show respect to him. So this is another way of saying. So أين here doesn't mean where. أين يذهب, because أين يذهب شايفين السكون على يذهب. أين يذهب يحترمه يعني كمان it's a people show respect or respect him. أن تأتي رجلا كريما. Whenever you go to him, you find him generous. You find him very hospitable as well, or generous. So كريما means generous, very giving, you can say as well. Okay, so these are all conditional, as you can see. أن تأتي رجلا كريما. Whenever you come to him, you will find him generously, you will find him very generous or very hospitable. That is yet another form, and you can see also how the conditional here it is. More conditional, حيثما يذهب يجد صديقا. This is also conditional. حيثما يذهب يجد صديقا. Whenever he goes, he makes friends. Wherever he goes, حيثما. Wherever he goes, he makes friends. This is another element of conditional. إذا جاء زيد فأكرمه. Again, if Zayd comes, treat him in a hospitable manner. Again, وإن تعودوا نعد. If you return, so shall we so shall we. This is Halim's translation. And then you have, if you return to the attack, so shall we, in Yusuf Ali. And still more examples. You see, it's very important to give you as many examples as possible, because that way it will be implanted in your head that is, or embedded. If you return to the attack, so shall we return. Al-Hilal and Khan. Another exercise can be in the following for you. من يعمل سوءا يجزى به. من يعمل يجزى. This is again conditional as well. So that is really quite an interesting exercise for you. And you can see here 3 translations. The last one, whoever does an evil deed will be recompensed for it. This is my view of how to translate, as opposed to Halim's, Yusuf Ali and Al-Hilali. And then look at this. I mean, this is more of these interesting conditionals. إلا تفعلوه تكن فتنة في الأرض وفساد كبير. If you don't do the same, there will be persecution in the land and great corruption. Halim. And then unless you do this, you see, this is the conditional as well. Protect each other, that is. There would be tumult and oppression on earth and great mischief. This is another one. Then there is more of these ones. Then you have these 2 and my last translation as well. If you do not act in the same way, protect each other, there will be a sedition in the land and grave corruption, which is my translation. And still more, you can see more. وَمَا يَفْعَلُوهُ مِنْ خَيْرٍ. Again, فَلَنْ يَكْفُرُوهُ. And you can see, and they will not be denied the reward for whatever good deeds they do. Again, here we can't see the conditional as much in English, but you can see it in Arabic. Of the good that they do, nothing will be rejected of them. This is Yusuf Ali giving that conditional as well. And whatever good they do, nothing will be rejected of them. Again, this is conditional, and you can see the conditional appearing well. إما يبلغنك. This is إما. I think we have done it before. I've showed you one of them. إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف. As an answer, say no word that show impatience with them. Say not to them a word of contempt. Say not to them a word of disrespect. That's Al-Hilali. And my translation, if either of them or they both reach old age during your lifetime, never express a word of grumble to them, not reproach them, nor reproach them. And that is my translation here. Just all of these are different variations on the same theme of the conditional. You can see how the conditional is being done here. Now, next time we will do a different kind of topic, but for now, I would say that what we have covered so far in this session is to do with, of course, this is to do with the conditional. And in this, you've seen that some of these translations really are not, in the target text in English, are not as much of conditional as they are in the original. And that is because maybe it's different systems, language, systemic difference between the 2 languages, Arabic and English, because sometimes the conditional in English, in Arabic, may not be translated into English in the same way. And we have seen many examples today that are showing how sometimes you might be able to do the conditional, but some other times you may not be able to do that. And that is really why this is the difference in syntax between the 2 types of conditionals, the conditionals in Arabic and how you translate them. Sometimes you might translate them fully as conditional, but some other times you will not show them as conditional in the target text in English. Have a nice day.